I am the renowned professor of common sense at the University of Billy. Now, I wish I could say this is my last podcast on the impeachment hearings because it's just atrocious, but probably not. But I do want to give you four common sense points to illustrate this is entirely nothing but political theater. Point number one, the Constitution clearly says that when you impeach someone, it could be the president, vice president, any elected official. To impeach a person, there has to be treason, bribery, high crimes, and misdemeanors. We have two articles of impeachment. Nothing mentions any crime. Even worse, I'm watching Democrats out in the hallways, in front of the cameras, and the pundits all over the place, throwing this word bribery all over the place, and it just enrages me. Listen, if he's guilty of bribery, he can be impeached for that. So if he's guilty of bribery, why did you not include it in the articles of impeachment? Well, you know why? Because it's all theater. Second reason, we do have two articles of impeachment that's gone over to the Senate. One is abuse of power, and the second is obstruction of Congress. On abuse of power, this one's funny to me because, they say that Trump used his office to try to dig up dirt on Joe Biden from the Zelensky, president of Ukraine, so he could use it in the 2020 election. All right, here's the deal. If he can be impeached for that, then Nancy Pelosi needs to schedule 535 impeachment hearings right away because we have 100 senators and 435 representatives that should be impeached. Because I am telling you right now, there is not a politician alive who does not use their office in some way to give themselves an advantage in the next election. And if you don't believe that's true, then I'm sorry, friends. Even common sense cannot correct your thinking. And the whole obstruction of Congress thing, that's the most ridiculous because here's the accusation. They asked Trump to turn over documents for certain people to come testify within his, inner circle. And he said no. Well, here's the crazy thing. There's a legal thing given to presidents called executive privilege. So what did Adam Schiff and his buddies do? As soon as he said no, they were out in the hallways again in front of the camera screaming out, he's covering up his crimes. All they had to do was take it to court, challenge the executive privilege. Maybe in this case, with impeachment, it wouldn't stand. They didn't even take it to court. Number three, they're calling now that it's in the Senate for all these witnesses and documents. Even this Lev Parnas guy, I laugh at that. I'd never even heard of him. I keep up with this stuff. He was even indicted back in October for his shenanigans in Ukraine. Why didn't the House call him to testify? Well, obviously, either their trial failed, they didn't finish it, or what I say, it's all just political theater. And lastly, it takes 2/3 of the Senate to impeach a person. That means 20 Republicans have to cross over and vote with the Democrats. Friends, there is no chance for that because they would be cutting their own throat. They would be losing power because it would be such an uproar. Oh, by the way, that would be an abuse of power. This is political theater. Congratulations to Adam Schiff because he's got the starring role.